It'll get loud though, everybody's coming in.
You go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the council meeting of the October 24th. We're going to start with the Municipal Housing Agency Governing Board meeting. I will call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to please take roll.
County,
Here.
Bozen,
Here.
Voss,
Here.
Shoemaker,
Here.
Westergaard. Here. Gatto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, item 2 is approving the agenda as presented and or as amended.
Move.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. The agenda has been approved. Item 3 is the approval of a lease agreement with the Des Moines Municipal Housing Agency and Polk County for the administrative offices at Polk County River Place, Board Communication number 22-486. Any discussion? Board members? Any thoughts?
Move approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. I'll ask everybody to vote, please.
Mayor, as you do that, I just want to give a thanks to Polk County working with us on this lease. Very, very appreciative to their help.
All right. Indira,
Yes.
thank you.
6 yes.
All right. That's the only item really of interest on this meeting tonight. Could we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 All right. Any opposition? Hearing none. We're adjourned and we will start our council meeting sharply at 5 o'clock. Thank you. All right, thank you, everybody. Welcome to the Des Moines City Council meeting, and thank you for patiently waiting after our earlier quick session on public housing. Let's call this meeting to order, and I will, for the October 24th City Council meeting, and ask the clerk to please take roll. Here.
Boson,
Here.
Voss,
Here.
Shoemaker,
Here.
Westergaard. Here. Mandelbaum. Here. Gatto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 2 is approving the agenda as presented and/or as amended.
Move.
It's been moved, but let me quickly go over the,
Nobody's moved it yet. That's somebody in the audience.
all right, so the consent agenda this evening on those, 4I was added. It's approving a 5-day Class C liquor license for Senior Tequila at the 120 East 5th Street for the Iowa Latino Gala on October 27th. And the mayor and I and our Mayor Pro Tem Mandelbaum approved putting it on the agenda. Item 24 was withdrawn by the applicant. Item 27 was withdrawn by the applicant. Item 47 has been updated on a consent map. Item 47B was added as a final consideration of the ordinance above. That waiver was requested by Rich Leopold, the Director of Polk County Conservation, and requires 6 votes. Item 50B was added. The final consideration of an ordinance above the waiver was requested by Brad Lowe as manager and requires 6 votes. But other than that, our agenda is as it is printed.
Move. Did you move it, Carl?
I did, but
Second.
All right, the item's been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
All right. Item 3 is approving the consent agenda. Tonight, those are items 3 through 46. These are routine items and will be acted on as one roll call vote without separate discussion unless pursuant to the council rules, any of our members asked to have any items pulled for further discussion. Item 21, Councilmember Mandelbaum abstains. Item 31, Councilmembers Shoemaker and Gatto abstain. Item 38, Councilmember Shoemaker votes no. Anything else, council?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
All right. That quickly takes us to the hearing items. Again, I will quickly say for the hearings this evening, we have 4 zoning items. Those are 47 through 50. We also have a certificate of appropriateness, 2 vacation hearings, 1 conveyance hearing, a concession agreement amendment, and a lease purchase hearing this evening. As a reminder for the zoning items only, again, 47 to 50, we will hear from the parties in interest first and then from the general public. The parties in interest are either the applicant themselves or anybody that lives within 250 feet of the property to be rezoned to whom the city has sent notices. After all the parties in interest have commented, we will open up the hearing for public comment. And to aid in recognizing the parties in interest who may speak, I will ask everyone else not to step to the microphone unless they are the zoning applicant or one of those individuals that lives within that 250 feet and received that official notice. I will also remind everybody that anybody who approaches the mic before it is their time will be compared with that list, and if you're not on it, will be considered disruptive and will not be recognized for the remainder of the meeting and will be required to leave. So please, I ask everybody to wait until I call on the general public, especially for those zoning items. After the parties in interest have been called upon, the general public will then be called upon for germane comments, not to exceed 1 minute per person to a maximum of 7 minutes, unless the hearing is ended sooner, either for failure to make germane comments or the public comments have ceased. For other hearings this evening, any interested person may make germane comments. Again, not to exceed that 1 minute to a maximum of 5 minutes per hearing, unless the hearing is ended sooner for failure to make the germane public comments when the comments cease. So for our first item, item 47. This is on a request from Polk County Conservation. Angela Connolly is the officer for property located in the vicinity of 1601 William Street to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow plan to revise the future land use classification from low-density residential to parks and open space, and to rezone the property from F flood district and N3A neighborhood district to a limited P1 public, civic, and institutional district to allow for the development of trails and other park amenities. It requires 6 votes for approval. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested again by Richard Leopold, Polk County, and requires 6 votes. Before we start, I will say that this morning we had a very extensive presentation from Polk County about their planning process on this, and have brought our council up to date and gave us some very positive improvements that they speculate. At any rate, first I'm going to ask parties in interest. Is the applicant here? Anybody from Polk County? Sir, I believe that I recognize you. If you'd step to the podium, please.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you here tonight. And just reiterating what we had talked about this morning, that
You need to
Polk
give
County,
me, if you'd give everybody your name and address, please.
excuse me, Mayor. My name is Richard Leopold. I'm the Director of Polk County Conservation, and my address is 6804 Jake Barnes Court in Johnston, Iowa. So I'm here tonight representing Polk County and Polk County Conservation, and appreciate your consideration of this rezoning matter. Here this morning, we speculated on a lot of the changes that we're going to make. We believe the changes are going to be very positive for the community. It's going to be better for water quantity as far as flooding issues, water quality, for habitat, for open space and recreation for residents and residents of the larger greater Des Moines area. And so I'm just going to keep my comments brief and allow others to make comment.
Okay. We'll ask now, are there any other parties in interest who received notice that would like to step up and make comment? And so we have one. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Would you guys line up over here so we can kind of get everybody to, kind of move through? That would really be helpful. So thank you for. So everybody here has received notice and lives within that 250 feet? Yes? Okay. All right, who wants to speak first?
Good evening. My name is Thomas Kilty, Kielty. I live at 4335 Shoreline Drive in Pleasant Hill. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councilman. And also thank you to Councilman Voss, who came out to our neighborhood and met with us yesterday afternoon on his Sundays. We appreciated that. I don't know if this project is a good project or a bad project, because we don't know all the facts. And I see a lot of kids here with their parents that have interest, and I think that's great that as a city we're doing things to create environments for our young people that have things that weren't available when I was a kid. But on the other hand, I think we have to recognize the environment. And I asked the question yesterday, and when I spoke with Councilman Voss, and some of the people in my neighborhood had asked the question, has there been an environmental impact report done on this, and how does it affect not only the human environment, which is adjacent to the property, but the wildlife that lives in that area? You recognize that we have beaver, and we have coyotes, and we have fox, and we have deer, and we have nesting eagles, and hawks that live in that forested area. And what is this going to do to them? And I'm sure that there's some endangered species that are also living in there, and an environmental impact report would show these things. The other thing was that yesterday, for the first time, I saw a little sketch of what's being proposed. And on the west side of the property, there is like a gravel parking lot, which has been a problem because there's been drugs and homeless and stuff down in there that we see as residents around Copper Creek Lake. But that's all on a floodplain. And from when I went to graduate school in the College of Public Administration, you can't build on floodplains. And they're talking about putting restrooms in and a pavilion and doing more work to the parking lot. That parking lot floods out every year during the rainy season when the snow melt off happens. The other thing is, have we done a study, a water study, and does it meet EPA requirements with what is being proposed? Now, we haven't seen any of these things, and I think as private citizens that are taxpayers, that we should be able to see these things, and these are issues that I think are prudent that we need to have in front of the city council to make a decision before you actually change the zoning on the property. If we don't pay attention to the regulations that we all have to live within for our environment, then we can end up spending a lot of money and then not being able to do it because something doesn't meet the requirements of the EPA or the environment in general. So I know there's certain regulations as it affects to nesting eagles, to where you can't build within, I think it's 200 meters. And the water runoff is an issue, as it is anywhere in our country. How that water is going to run off and any development back in there is going to happen with that. And when you think about that property, yes, I understand that if you have a bicycle situation where there's organized events for the kids to do that, you're going to have adults there, and if somebody were to have an accident or get hurt, there's going to be somebody there to respond. But what do we do with the kids that go over there and play in there, that ride their bikes over there, and some kid goes off the trail and hits a tree or for some reason falls off their bike and is seriously hurt? How do we respond to that? How do we respond with police problems? And my house faces Copper Creek Lake. The city of Pleasant Hill is very good about patrolling the lake, but even with that, we still have problems from time to time. It's not what you'd expect, and we have a very nice park that's right in front of my house that I enjoy. And I'm not saying that this proposed park is something that isn't good for the neighborhood or the city. I'm just saying, please take and do due diligence, do the environmental impact reports and the water studies before we spend any money and move any works forward with this. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming tonight.
Next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Roger Resch, spelled R-A-I-S-C-H. I've been a 22-year resident of 4315 Shoreline Drive in Pleasant Hill. My property is 150 feet from the subject property, and I oppose the rezoning. There has really been no needed demonstration for a bike park other than a statement from the director of the Polk County Conservation, Mr. Leopold, this morning at the City Council's working session, where he stated, quote, "This property is not good for anything else," end quote. The facts are that 97% of property owners within 250 feet of this subject property don't want it and have said so in petitions and sending in the consent cards in opposition. The only real desire that I've been able to see is from a special interest group, the International Mountain Bike Association and its local affiliate, who want the facility so they can come and use it, letting the Polk County taxpayers cover the costs directly and indirectly. As a CPA, I have conducted many internal control and compliance projects and audits. My recent project was auditing the rezoning application from Polk County Conservation. I want to talk to you about the defective processes by which this application is in your hands today for a vote. First, the applicant did not comply with City Code 134-6.1.4a, where we read, quote, "Whenever the provisions of this zoning ordinance allow the filing of an application, that application must be signed by all title holders," end quote. The owner affidavit does not have a name inserted for the owner or representative of the owner of the subject property in the space indicated. It was left blank. The signature on the affidavit is unreadable. Further, the instructions on the form require that if the affidavit is signed by a representative of the property owner, a proof of authority document must be attached to the affidavit to confirm that the person signing has the actual authority to sign it. No such proof of authorization document was attached. The instructions on the owner affidavit form itself and at City Code 134-6.1.4d requires that the application must be submitted as a completed form to be accepted. It was not complete, and I will provide you with a copy of it marked Exhibit A at the end of my remarks. In summary, I find the application defective, and it should not have been accepted. Next, the Des Moines Planning and Zoning Commission on September 15 approved the rezoning request in error and referred it to the City Council. They relied on a defective Zoom meeting held by the applicant on September 6, in which only 7%, or actually 6 people, attended out of a possible 71 title holders. A neighborhood public meeting is required by the city code. The commissioners accepted Adam Fendrick's explanation as spokesman for Polk County Conservation that he had complied with city code concerning neighbor meeting requirements. However, Mr. Fendrick agreed under questioning by Commissioner Page to conduct a face-to-face neighbor meeting with all property owners adjoining the subject property, about 71 title holders, and agreed to continue the rezoning request until the meeting was held as recorded in the minutes of that P&Z meeting. Despite the evidence of noncompliance and the applicant agreeing to continue the request, one commissioner stated, quote, "It's our duty to pass this request," end quote, which in itself, I think, is a remarkable comment indeed. And then the rezoning request was passed and referred to the City Council. To date, the applicant has failed to hold a public meeting with all 71 title holders. My 6-page written objections document that I presented to the P&Z commissioners at their meeting, which was accepted by the chair of the commission on the record, failed to be recorded in the minutes of that P&Z meeting. Thus, the City Council, you people, were not able to see my objections. Therefore, I think the applicant has failed to comply with City Code regarding neighbor communications about their rezoning request. Due to an incomplete and defective application and owner affidavit for rezoning by the applicant and an improper referral of the request to City Council by the P&Z Commission and lack of adherence to the City Code by the applicant, I'm asking you to deny the approval of the rezoning request in its present form. And I've got just a final comment. I have spent a tremendous amount of time on the subject property, over 22 years. And if I just go on for a moment, and strongly disagree with the director of the Polk County Conservation who stated this morning, quote, "Species are minimal on the property," end quote.
Okay, we need to move on. Thank you.
And I'd like to present this to the City Council, a copy of my remarks, and I'd like to
If you
make a
have
motion.
Mr. Bowden over here,
Request that.
would you,
And I've got also
all in favor, say aye.
exhibit on their application that I'd like to submit.
Indira?
Sure. Yes.
Let me just give you a copy. I'll give you. Yeah, sure. Let me give
All right, next speaker, please.
How many do you need? 7? 8?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, and staff. My name is Marcy Anderson, and I live at 4450 Cameron Swing in Pleasant Hill, Iowa. I've come here to talk about the rezoning of the parcel of the land for the Copper Creek Mountain Bike Park from flood and N3A to P1 public, civic, and institutional. My back door is approximately 30 yards from the boundary of this park. Our property line is approximately 10 yards from the boundary. I am expressing my opposition and concern for such rezoning. Polk County Conservation sent a letter dated August 22nd, 2022, and signed by Director Richard Leopold to residents within 250 feet of the property designated for the new park. The letter stated that the staff had presented the project at local neighborhood meetings, providing residents the opportunity to offer public comment. These meetings were offered to residents who belong to associations. I am not a member of an association. I'm an owner of a single-family home, and single-family residences were invited to attend a Zoom meeting on September 6, 2022 at 6 p.m. City Code 134-6.1.6 Neighbor Communications states that neighbor communication requirements are intended to ensure that applicants make a good faith effort to educate applicants and neighbors about one another's interests, resolve issues in a manner that respects those interests, and identify unresolved issues before initiation of public hearings. Many unresolved issues were brought to the attention of the park planner Adam Fendrick and community outreach coordinator Jessica, and I apologize, Jessica, Lone, by the residents residing within 250 feet of the proposed park. Some of the issues raised were, where's the environmental study? Residents have asked to see one and have not been given a hard copy. How will the wildlife be affected by this? And are there any endangered species, a plant and animal that live within the woods, as Tom said? Has there been a hydrology study of the land? Does the land comply with the EPA rules and regulations? How will land use change affect flooding and runoff into Copper Creek Lake and 4 Mile Creek? I know that 4 Mile Creek is on the Greenbelt Waterway. We're in the middle. Will this runoff affect the neighboring homes? What about resident privacy? Why were residents who were impacted by the park not notified and included in discussion and planning of the park? Polk County Conservation bought this land in December of 2020. We received a letter August 5th, or dated August 22nd. That's over a year and a half. We are not involved in any of the planning. These issues have not been sufficiently resolved with neighbors prior to public hearings. Rezoning this land will not make it any less of a floodplain. The proposed parking lot and restroom building will still be built on a floodplain. Overall, it seems that this effort has been extremely rushed. Many interested parties in the process, including property owners, were not invited until very late in the game. Because we had no input, we wrongly assumed that Polk County Conservation would conserve and preserve this parcel of land. We had no idea it was going to be a mountain bike park. Thank you for your time and consideration. I respectfully request that you vote no on this rezoning. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Jessica Jukonovich. I live at 1920 East 42nd Street, directly across from what will be the park. I am a former Team USA member and a head coach of girls wrestling here in Iowa. I'm telling you that because I helped get girls wrestling sanctioned in the state of Iowa. So I understand what it means to be passionate about something and sometimes view that one-sidedly. With that said, I'm not here about the animals, I'm here about the people. East 42nd Street this isn't my first time talking to the city about East 42nd Street. It's extremely busy. It's super fast. And I have a baby. I have a 2-year-old who has accidentally stepped into the street one time before and I almost lost myself. I have a 10-year-old who walks home every day from Brubaker and has to cross East 42nd Street. She has been almost hit numerous times and she is overly cautious. So what I would like is, I guess I also, being a competitive athlete, I know what victory feels like and I know what defeat feels like. And I know how this looks and seems and that this is probably going to get passed through. So with that said, all I'm asking is that it doesn't get passed through as it stands right now. Please take into consideration the people that live there. Our home would be directly across from what would be the main entrance. Also, when all of that dirt was moved, I didn't call conservation, but I did call multiple city offices to ask what was going on. because nobody would tell us. It was almost very secretive feeling, so much so that my 90-year-old neighbor and I even walked across the street to the workers and asked them, what's all this dirt for? What's going on? The amount of dust that it created back in February and March was like astronomical. It was insane. So I'm asking you guys to please consider the people. Please consider revising this. And for all of you out-of-state folks who are, avidly pushing this, I welcome you to stay at my home. Come stand in my driveway for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, or even anyone from the city. Please just come stand in my driveway. Right where that is proposed is, there's a little bit of an incline on 42nd. You come around the bend and it's a slight incline, and people sort of punch the gas to try to pick up speed there. And so I'm very much concerned with the additional traffic and how that might impact us who live literally right there across from the entrance. So that's all I'm asking you, is to please consider the humans, please consider the families who live there, not the people who are just going to come visit occasionally. Please take our children into consideration. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Nadine Adele. I live at 4315 Shoreline Drive in Pleasant Hill, and I've been there for over 22 years. I'm requesting City Council deny the agenda item 47, which is to rezone the 42 acres of land from F and N3A to P1. Rezoning is premature as due diligence and full disclosure has not occurred. I will not go into a lot of detail, which was just said about the violation of City Code 134-6.1-6, neighbor communications. I'll just make a brief comment. As a property owner, my husband and I did receive one letter notice from the applicant for a Zoom meeting to be held the day after Labor Day, which we attended. We were one of 6 property owners who attended this Zoom meeting out of the mailing list of 71 property owners who were mailed a Zoom meeting letter according to the mailing list the applicant provided to us. That calculates to 92% of the property owners missed an opportunity to learn and present concerns about the rezoning and the proposed plan at this Zoom meeting. Further, our Town Home Association, which we are a member, did not receive a Zoom meeting invitation. We received an email confirmation on October 3rd from the homeowner management company, who receives all mailings to the Edgewater Homeowners Association, that they never received a letter for the September 6th Zoom meeting from conservation applicant, nor a notice from the City of Des Moines about the September 15th P&Z meeting, nor the city consent card. ETA is not on the mailing list that Shiroshi had emailed me, nor on the mailing list that the applicant emailed me. Our ETA owns 11 acres of property that runs along the southern boundary of the eastmost parcel for 700 feet and runs along the eastern shoreline of Copper Creek Lake. Thus, ETA was unable, as an association, any property owner on the record was unable to attend the Zoom meeting and express concerns about rezoning at the Zoom meeting. ETA was unable to respond with approval or disapproval to the rezoning to the City of Des Moines through the consent card. Moving on, the second violation is that the PC conservation applicant, Representative Adam Fendrick, has been deficient in abiding by City Code 134-6.1.6, paragraph C, neighbor meeting summary as defined below. I gave you a handout there. I won't read it. My husband and I had provided to Adam on September 5th, before the Zoom meeting, a 6-page objections document including 3 flooding exhibits that was submitted to Adam the day before, and that particular document has never been included on the record. He did not even include on the record a neighbor meeting summary. There was nothing on the record at all, no document saying where the meetings were held, who was attending, what was discussed, what were the concerns, what was resolved and what was unresolved. And as a result of this lack of good faith neighbor communication efforts, ourselves and many property owners adjacent to the subject property remain skeptical about this whole plan. Finally, we attended the work session meeting this morning, and the applicant, represented by Mr. Leopold, he stated that he intended to make future assessments of the property regarding federal and state requirements, including an EPA study that included endangered species and working specifically with the city and the DNR in this regard. He needed to work with an engineering firm regarding stormwater management. He referenced the watershed department regarding water quality, but wasn't too clear about the details of his intended involvement. Since Mr. Leopold clearly stated that this morning that PC Conservation acquired this property because nobody else wanted it, and it was targeted because the property was not good for anything else, there would be no harm for the conservation applicant to conduct these assessments and studies before the council approves the rezoning. The findings and conclusions from these assessments and studies may show that this property is not suitable for P1 zoning. The conservation applicant may then be entitled or be able to sell the property. Thus, rezoning is really premature. Finally, in closing, flooding impact on neighboring properties may be determined by the Iowa Flood Center in Iowa City, which is linked with the University of Iowa and funded by the DNR. On Friday, September 2nd, I received an email response from the Iowa Flood Center to my question about projected flooding impact. The Iowa Flood Center wrote, quote, projected or forecasted information is a little more difficult because it depends on climate trends and land use changes. This is a land use change. The following week, they said that in respect to forecasts over flooding, future flooding, we know from the Midwest Climate Science Report we are going to see more intense rainfalls occurring, not necessarily annually, but more intense at one time. We just don't know
We
when.
need to move on to the next speaker.
Okay, thank you, sir. Land use changes can also affect this, so we're just requesting here that
Ask the
rezoning be
next
denied.
speaker to
Thank
step
you.
up, please.
My name is John Doerr, D-O-E-R-R, 1970 Northeast 45th Court, Des Moines, Iowa, east side. Our property is adjacent to proposed park. Thank you, Councilman Voss, for coming last night, standing in the rain with us to see it and listen to us. We'll keep it simple. Both sides are here. We've talked about animals, we've talked about people, we've talked about the impact of the environment. What I see from a management perspective is we don't have a horse. We've got the cart in front of the horse right now. What is the purpose? How are we going to do this? What's the environmental impact? How will it affect us? Second part is, as a property owner adjacent, we were given the last card at the last Zoom meeting. No one knocked on our door. We joke we're home buddies. We're home every day. No one has talked to us. No one has communicated any of these plans with us or what is going to happen here. All we would like to do is be a part of this. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Hi, Vicki Doerr, 1970 Northeast 45th Court. I'm opposing this because I am an accountant and I know how to manage money, and I don't feel as a taxpayer passing this is doing due diligence with it being in a flood zone. I think the estimated amount was like $300,000 to get it up and going. First flood comes, we're going to be respending that. That's not how I want to spend my taxpayer dollars. Our property touches this park. I'm not going to feel safe in my own yard anymore. I carry a knife when I walk on the trails. I'm an avid biker and walker. After the Molly Tisbett thing, I don't walk by myself on the trails in Des Moines unless I have a knife on me, because I'm going to put up a fight if somebody comes after me. Parks bring great people. They also bring shady people. We used to live over by Grandview College, and the cops praised us for walking our Rottweilers at the park to deter drug dealers. Keep coming every day. That's my concern. How am I going to feel safe doing yard work in my own yard if this is passed? Because they bring good and they bring evil. It's the world we live in. But from a financial standpoint, this is not a good deal. I wouldn't buy a house in a floodplain. So I wouldn't be investing money in that, and I'm asking you not to do the same. Thank you.
Next.
Hello, I'm Sally Woodard. I live at 4405 Northeast 19th Avenue. I have 405 feet that attaches to this property. we've seen homeless people. We've seen people just going through there. We've had to stop people from going through there. As it is, I couldn't imagine what it would be like if this park was to go in there. My family has owned the property since 1965, 66, the winter up. And I was real little and was raised there, but we've seen so much happen. It used to be surrounded by cornfields. Then they put the sand plant in, and then the houses. And everybody that's bought houses down there, they bought it because it was serene, and we had no problems. But the more and more we get at it, we have problems. I mean, I had some people walk right up next to my house on the opposite side because they got lost in those woods. And it scared me. I thought it was a deer, and it was a person. So, yeah, we don't want it. We don't need it. There's so many bike trails and bike parks now in the city of Des Moines. Why do we need it now? You know, when you go by them, you don't see them. And I'm getting up in age. I used to work for the city of Des Moines. I'm retired from there. And so I kind of know how some of the parks and sewer systems work. And just like I say, they're going to do prairie grass. We had a fire down there after they stopped farming it, and we almost lost our garages. Now we mow a bumper, so in case it catches on fire again, we don't get burned out because it was that close. It was really scary. So I please hope that you wouldn't pass this and change it over to park. And we've got a lot of parks, and you don't see a lot of people in them anymore. And, you know, I know it's for public, but I can't see it. And I'd like to have our safety and our quietness. That's why we all moved there. I was living on Lake Ponderosa, and when my parents both passed away, I bought their house because I thought it was the best place to live. So, I don't know. How are you going to stop it? Or if we're going to stop it, I'm confused right this second. If we're going to stop it, or are you guys going to help us stop it? Or are you going to, or should we just be talking to the wall? I don't know. So, thank you.
Next speaker.
I'm Dave Milburn. I read all of the comments online ahead of time. I don't live in the area. I live in Johnston, and I ride my bike to Copper Creek about twice a month. Sorry.
You're not eligible to speak at this time. These are only the people that are within that 250 feet or the applicant themselves. So I am pretty sure Johnston is not adjacent to this
Correct.
property. Sir, are you...
I'm going to go for the public. Get there.
Okay. Are there any other people, parties in interest that are in that area that have been notified, or the applicant? Rich, did you want to make any comment regarding any of the comments that have come up? You want to make a couple of quick ones?
Certainly. And some of this, Rich Leopold, Director, Polk County Conservation, some of this is what we had talked about again this morning. So a lot of the things that were said are relevant and should be addressed. Part of this is where we're at in the process. We're at the very beginning stages, the pre-design stages in looking at this thing. So when we talk about neighborhood impacts, when we talk about water quality, engineering studies, endangered species studies, and all of that, absolutely, we are required by law, and in fact, that's what we do. We manage and own 16,000 acres here in Polk County, so all of those things will be accomplished as this is processed and as we go through the process, including all the neighbors. I think we have a pretty good reputation in the county. We're good neighbors to people, whether that's fencing, lighting, security, water, habitat, whatever it is. So I just appreciate you considering this today.
Rich, before you leave, so has the Pleasant Hill City Council weighed in on this?
Thank you, Councilman Voss. Yes, they have, and they have endorsed this project.
Thank you.
Can I ask one thing? There were a couple of comments made about the safety, and we, quite frankly, in our work with Polk County, have seen in some areas that were of questionable safety, how much they improved. Could you at least let some folks know what
Yes.
a couple of those thoughts are?
And certainly, and you had a number of the people that had said that there have been problems back there with vandalism, illegal dumping, drug deals, all that kind of thing. So there is that type of activity that happens back there right now. We know how to manage those challenges. We've done it many times with partners, different cities, and just ourselves within all of our parks. So we believe that after we get to where we're going, there's going to be much less of that type of activity in that area.
All right. All right, the party in interest?
Yes.
Step up, please.
My name is Richard Woodard. I live at 4405 Northeast 19th Avenue, and I oppose it. I have a problem with all the extra people that's going to be traveling through the area. The traffic over on Easton and 42nd, if you haven't ever been over there, it is terrible at the stop sign on 42nd and Easton, and all it's going to do is cause this problem to grow. The housing developments that are growing out there now contributes to almost all of the traffic. Another problem I have with it is, how are you going to tell them people to stay off my property? Because mine, I have almost 500 feet that's going to be right there at the trails. And nobody's told me anything. I mean, nobody even contacts us to even say this was even happening. I heard this through other people. So, I mean, I don't know what to do about it, but I just, my safety, my quietness, and how would you guys like for somebody to come into your property right next door within 10 feet and put something like this, all these extra people that's coming from all over the place? They're not just going to come from around the area. They're going to be people that nobody has any association with. That's about all I got to say.
All right, any other parties in interest? Anybody that received that official notice? I know this gentleman was standing out in the hall, I think. All right, let's go ahead and open it up for public comment. And each of you are going to get 1 minute to kind of give us your quick thoughts.
Okay, quickly. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Thank you for tonight. My name is Greg Lewis. I live at 1816 East 22nd Street, Des Moines. Proud East Side alumni, 4th generation. So I want to and I'm also, briefly, I'm the vice chair of the Polk County Conservation Board. I've just made a few notes that I'm going to go through real quick. We talk about good and evil coming. Yeah, that's true. But you're going to see more good. Why? Because you're going to have Polk County conservation officers patrolling that area. I've got a meeting Wednesday afternoon with Councilman Westergaard to look at some illegal dumping in that area. This is going to go away. We know how to manage that. Homeless people and the drugs. I've walked that area. The meth labs are going away when they see officers and they see good people. Okay, well, I guess that's quick, but I'd like to say that of the cards, only 15% opposed.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I am Dave Milburn. I live in Johnston, Iowa. I ride to Copper Creek about twice a month. I would like the folks opposed and in favor to know that I would be happy to meet with them at either Sycamore or Sargent Park in Des Moines as an example of what you can expect from this project. From what I've seen in the Des Moines Register and from Polk County Conservation, just like a couple of comments about Sycamore Trail in Johnson is similar. Cyclists, hikers, it's been helping protect the woods. It's improved the wildlife habitat. It's improved the water quality. We've seen a lot more deer and eagle than ever before, and now some otters. So the development at Sargent Park is another example. It's free for neighbors and visitors. It's widely recognized as an asset to the community. And again, if anyone would have concerns, I'd be glad to meet with them. Thank you.
All right, I will make a note here. We have kind of limited time, and so hopefully all the comments that are going to be made are kind of some fresh ideas on the subject. And we'll kind of ask, as people give us their thoughts, especially the people that are making public comments here, how many are kind of in favor of this or that or whatever, so that we can kind of keep this thing moving. We, by code, to have, 7 minutes or something like that, but we're going to try to push it as long as we can, but we don't want to have repetitious comment here. So we'd appreciate it. Everybody listen up, and let's have our next speaker.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Dave McCloney, MCCLONEY. I am the president of Central Iowa Trail Association. Give you my address. I live in Norwalk, 1110 South Avenue in Norwalk. So CETA, Central Iowa Trail Association, is a 501(c). We were formed in 1998. I'm representing about 180 members and families. So we have a really strong relationship with the city of Des Moines already. We were recognized as the 2021 Volunteer Organization of the Year through the Park and Recreation Department. So we have experience building and maintaining mountain bike trails in the Des Moines area. So the current trails that we have is Central Trails, that's Greenwood and Ashworth Park. Ewing Park on the southeast side. Grandview Park, we have a small trail section there. It's just under a mile. Then also with Polk County Conservation, we have a strong relationship with them as well. At Sycamore Trail, that's in Johnston. That's on the west side of the river from Northwest 66 all the way down to Euclid. So opposite of the paved trail. And then down in halfway between Des Moines and Indianola at Banner Lakes. Okay.
All right, next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Jared Cruz. I live at 611 Polk Boulevard in Des Moines. I'm a former middle school science teacher and currently a professor of science education at Drake University. I'm the treasurer for the Central Iowa Trails Association, the president of the Iowa Scholastic Mountain Bike League, and a coach for the Des Moines Scholastic Mountain Bike Club. I live in Des Moines. My 3 children attend Des Moines Public Schools, and my entire family loves hiking and biking the dirt trails we have within 1 block of our house. Living near dirt trails, I can attest that trail users enhance rather than detract from our neighborhood. Yet beyond any single neighborhood, it is important to note that youth mountain biking is on the rise in Iowa and in Des Moines. Last year was the first year of the Des Moines Youth Mountain Bike Club. We have had more than 50 kids join us for practices and rides. These kids supported each other, cheered each other on, picked each other up, and showed me that the future is in good hands. Rezoning this land so that more dirt trails can be created prioritizes the children of Des Moines and the future of Des Moines they represent. I urge you each to vote to rezone.
Next speaker.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm Aaron Vance. I live at 4711 Kingman Boulevard in Des Moines. I am in support of this rezoning. I have kids, and we mountain bike in the neighborhood, and I want to build a Des Moines that they feel happy to come back to after they go off to college and do their stuff. I want them to come back and be active here instead of Colorado, California, wherever else. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm Andy McCoy. I'm at 411 56th Street in Des Moines, Iowa. I am an avid cyclist, and I have a couple kids, one in high school in Des Moines Public Schools and one in middle school. And yeah, it's great for the kids and it's great for everybody, but it's also so good just for the residents of Des Moines. I mean, I've probably ridden through Denman's Woods, which is part of Waterworks Park, Greenwood Park, which has center trails, and Ashworth Park. I've probably ridden through there in the last few years, maybe 5-6 years. I've ridden through there 400 times, something like that. It's just, once it's there, people start to use it. And so there may not be something that's an equivalent kind of mountain bike dirt trail area in this part of Des Moines. And so I think it's imperative that the zoning gets changed. So such a high quality amenity for the people of Des Moines can be available so that even adults can improve their mental and physical health. Thank you.
Hi, appreciate the time here. My name's Ken Sherman. I live at 4428 46th Street, Des Moines. I've lived for 24 years, a quarter mile from the Sycamore Trail system. What I'd like to tell you a little bit quickly about is that before the Conservation Board and CETA worked on that area, it was a place where I used to use it a lot. We considered it a place that had been abandoned. You could find everything discarded by man on this face of this planet discarded there and left there and dumped there for good. Nowadays, fast forward, you find this group of people who care so deeply about it. They mow it, keep it maintained, and have made it a safe place that's used by walkers, runners, joggers, everybody that can use the park. It's not just a mountain biking place. So thank you much for your time.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. My name is Danny Kruzik. I'm at 1480 Springs Drive in Pleasant Hill. I live right on Copper Creek. I can literally jump off of my deck and land in the lake on a good day. I am 100% in favor of this. I want you to know that several residents are in favor of this. Not only am I an avid cyclist, but I'm looking forward to the capital improvements in the area. The parking lot's been talked about. Boy, we sure need some improvements there. It's a dumping zone. I ride my bike through there a lot, and you get a little bit nervous even riding through that parking lot. Also, I have walked through those woods several times. It's been used in many, many years past by motorcyclists. There are trails there already. I'm surprised the residents haven't mentioned all the noise from the motorcyclists. I also have seen homeless people back in there. There's none there this year that I've seen, but I can take you and show you a couple of deer stands also back in there. So thank you very much.
Next speaker.
Hi, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. My name is Jeremy Wofford. You would not guess it. This guy's feeling a little shy now, but this is Gus Wofford, 7. My wife, Renee, and my other son, Noah. I pretty much run a business based on the power of bicycles. So I'm a trainer, nutritionist, bike fitter, wrench mechanic, all that good stuff. But we've been doing the youth group for a while here, and I could say it is growing. It is the future that's been touched on. You can't speak to all characters of people, but generally our cycling community and a lot of the people who use the trails are as a overwhelmingly positive group of people. So it is only going to bring more people, yes, but most likely people who want to support that space. We don't ride on our trails when it's remotely wet. Like, we take pretty good care of our trails to try to actually use them for ways in the future to come. So you can't speak to everyone, but I'd say that this is going to bring good people here, and hopefully everything else will be looked into that needs to be addressed, the environment, animals, water. And I think that everyone would have a good head on that, but we're for it. Okay, so.
Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Tom Davis at 202 Southwest Heritage Lane in Ankeny, Iowa. I am for it. I'm the past president of the Iowa Scholastic Mountain Bike League, and our main mission there is to get kids on bikes. And the one thing I keep hearing from opponents to this is all the problems that are there now with the homeless people, the moto, all that. Well, if you've been on the mountain bike trails 10, 15 years ago, that's what was there then. And with everybody cleaning up the place and just maintaining it, that type of folk doesn't come back to mountain bike trails. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Robert Kennedy. I'm the current operations manager for the Des Moines Street Collective. I see several of my predecessors here. We are an organization that is focused on cycling and transportation equity. And I actually want to talk about something that hasn't been addressed here a whole lot, which is the Skills Park. It's not the most glamorous part of the whole project, but I think it's actually the most necessary from an equity standpoint. Skills parks hook into the skate park infrastructure that we already have in the city. They provide a super duper low cost form of outdoor recreation for kids. They teach independence. They're great babysitters because they're a loop and you can stand in the middle and watch your kid go round and round. They're a fantastic way to actually get kids outside without having to, follow them on a bike or anything. So I would encourage you to rezone this to permit the project to move forward. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Good evening, Jeff Anker, Polk City, Iowa, 621 Adams. I wanted to expand upon some of the things that CETA, the Central Iowa Trail Association, does. One of the things we do is we have a great track record with property owners, the county, the city, and the state, with working with them to keep the trails, build them and maintain them in a responsible manner. One of the things that I'd like to address was a property owner had concerns about, how do I know they're not just going to make trails on our property? And that's one of the things that we do as a group, is we monitor the trails and we close off self-made trails and only build them in cooperation with trail building authorities in the city, and do it in a responsible manner. Another anecdote I'd like to share was a similar lake was down in Claremore Lake it's north of Tulsa. Oh, thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Hello, Council. My name is Alex Strulins. I live at 2402 Glenwood Drive. And as a taxpayer in Des Moines, I support this project because, to me, this is land that's underutilized. It's a floodplain that's zoned residential, so to me it makes very little sense to build any residential properties in this area. So this is a project that we can implement to take use of our resources as a city as a whole and allow a greater segment of our population to use land that's underutilized now. I think that's a great idea. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hello, Council. Kyle Landsberger, 249 East Jackson Avenue. And as a local resident and taxpayer, I also am in favor of this. I think it would be a great thing for the environment, for the local area, and personally, I go spend thousands of dollars just to go out of town to go to parks like this, so it would be pretty amazing to put that money back into our own state and stay here locally and enjoy it here. Thank you very much.
Hello, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Dave Vaughter. I'm from Johnston, Iowa. I'm a member of the Trails and Greenway Committee for Polk County and the metropolitan area. I came to speak in favor of this rezoning. As so many people have said, the positive people that are involved with cycling and the stewardship of CETA and the Polk County Conservation Board are only going to bring positive things to this area, and I hope that people that live nearby will understand that you're afraid of what you don't know. And what they don't know is they haven't seen the positive impacts at like Sycamore, where these undesirable elements are basically pushed out by positive people, these citizens, families, young people, bird watchers, cyclists, outdoor enthusiasts of all types. So I encourage you guys to support this project and the rezoning. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hello, thank you for the time and opportunity to speak. My name's Lisa Vetterline. This is my son Lyle. We live at 1082 36th Street. It's basically in between all of the mountain bike trails in town. We have equal access to all of them. I have 2 kids who I have brought up basically utilizing all of the trails, and it's super important to us, and we're huge supporters and support this new trail system. One thing I also want to say that I don't think anybody's really mentioned is some people had mentioned they're concerned about the crime rates going up in the park, although there seems to be already some issues. And as a community, mountain bikers, hikers know that we can call CETA, we can call Polk County Conservation, Des Moines City when we see anything, and stuff gets reported all the time. We are reporting on people who are utilizing the trails improperly, like if they have motorized vehicles or if we see homeless camps. So really, we are assisting in policing the area, and I think that's a really valid point. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Thacker. I live within the 250 at 4230 Wilson Avenue, and I am for this. I'm really excited and moved there to experience and have use of this park within biking distance, so I wouldn't have to drive or go out of state or travel and all those things. I currently went in the area that we're using and wore sandals and got cut because there's glass and all of those kind of things. So I'm really excited to help make this actually a safe place to be and get rid of any of the invasive species and that creek, like make it clean and just like all the cool things that they're going to do. I'm really excited and for it. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hi, my name's Zach Forbes. I live at 4230 Wilson Avenue. So we live at the same address, and we just moved to this location for this project, basically. So I saw this really cool thing in the paper. People were excited about it, and I said, oh, well, we are already thinking about getting a house, and we just lucked out that this property was close to the park, and we wanted to live by something like this. And this is a very cool project that Des Moines is doing. So I lived in Colorado for about 10 years, and I moved back, and stuff like this actually makes me want to keep on being an Iowa resident and living in Des Moines and being supportive of projects like this. It's just great. So I am a CETA trail user, and I just want to say that they do such a great job of maintaining the trails. It's fantastic. It actually makes me feel guilty that I don't donate and I don't volunteer my time, which I hope to do so. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, I was going to say, here's your guy, everybody.
Hi, I'm Matt Keller. I grew up on the east side. I really like the east side. The east side needs a bike trail, off-road bike trail. It's environmentally clean. People can ride from their neighborhood over to the bike trail instead of getting in their car and driving across town. It's a silent activity compared to the RVs that used to drive those trails in that same park. So in my mind, it's good for the wildlife and the neighbors and how quiet it is. I happen to live in Copper Creek, 2010 Andrews Drive, and I'm here to tell you I'm not the only guy from Copper Creek near that development that's all for it. So I hope you support it too. Thank you.
Luke Nelson, 423 Sycamore Drive, Norwalk. Your Honor, Counsel, Mr. Sanders, you've heard a lot of good comments. Fortunately for you, the only thing you have to hear me say is I support this project. Thanks.
Good evening, all. Nick Ludwig, 725 38th Street in Des Moines. I guess I'm a past board member of Central Iowa Trails Association, current board member of White Rock Conservancy. And I just want to say that, you know, projects like these are what we need in every neighborhood. We have stick and ball sport complexes everywhere, but, you know, what do mountain bikers left with? River, flood ground? And we're happy to use it. We're happy to use it in a way that can be productive for the community, bring people in. White Rock Conservancy, for instance, brings people in from Des Moines every weekend constantly, and that's really what keeps us going. Things like this are different. They're, you know, give us a little bit of variety in the trails and types of things we can do, but the skills things are great for little kids, getting them involved and hopefully being great citizens in the future. So thank you. I support this.
Hi, Allison Homan, 1110 South Avenue in Norwalk. Full disclosure, my husband is the president of CETA. I just want to really quickly address the comments that were kind of made to stoke some fear about who's going to suddenly be showing up in these neighborhoods. And I want you to just kind of roll back through your head the group of people that you just saw, the like 40 to 55-year-olds who just really want to do this sport that they can still do in their older years. Sorry, guys. And so it really is. It's a great group of people. And also just talking about the numbers of people, I've gone several times to, even when they do an organized bike ride, there's maybe 12 cars in the parking lot. So it's not any part of anybody's getting overrun with people or any sort of thing like that. I also run a nonprofit in Des Moines that supports refugee children in our city, and we are always looking for activities that our kids can do in the spirit of keep them busy and keep them out of trouble. And we are really excited about the Kids Biking Club, the Wolf Pack, that they are getting started and getting going, and a ton of our kids live on the east side, and so we're hoping that we're going to get to utilize this as well. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Council, my name is Rob Cook. I live at 5324 Southeast 24th Street. I moved to where I do because it is across the street from Ewing. I'm a former CETA Board member. I'm a former CETA Board president. I'm a current Ewing Park Trail steward. I clean those trails. I build the trails. When we see something that's not good, we report it. We work closely with the city. We work closely with the county. Trails are an improvement to the neighborhood, and I'm very much in favor of this.
Scott Sumter, SUMPTER, 2909 Southwest Ridgeview Lane in Ankeny. Member of CETA, long-term member of the Trails and Greenways Committee. I'm also created and still maintain BikeIowa.com, so a statewide resource that kind of, its sole purpose is to educate and promote anything Iowa cycling related. Thousands of posts have been made about our trails. We do have world-class trails. Iowa doesn't have any oceans or mountains, but our trails and our parks are pretty darn good, especially, in Polk County. Tremendous job over the course of the years. But I want to see a little bit more about the property values. So I reached out to our local RE/MAX agency and saw, they gave me some numbers that said average property value of a home that's near a trail is 3 to 5% higher, and up on the high side it goes up 15%. If your residence is within half a mile of a trail, the selling value is up to 11% higher. It's on the average. So I just found that kind of interesting about, property values. Thank you.
Next.
Grant Davis, Des Moines resident, Woodland Avenue. I moved to my current apartment, so the part of the reason was be close to the trails within biking distance, so if something happened to my car, I could just hop over. Also, just the community that CETA has formed to support the trails is incredible. There was somebody up at Sycamore that was like spray painting rocks, and we, all got around and tried to find out who was a spray paint bandit and stuff. And it's just, we work together to keep the trails good and keep people off the trails when it's wet. And yeah, I support it.
Council, my name is Jen Bast. I live at 2707 Southeast 18th Street. I'm the head bike mechanic at Shields. And I think the one thing that we're missing yet is the what could happen, is especially all the locals, versus the what will happen. And so if you actually take a look at what will happen, look at Cuyuna, look at Bentonville, look at all those systems that have just exploded. We're the first ones to actually take action when we see something that shouldn't be there. They talked about traffic, that the local neighbors were worried about traffic. Well, look at Cuyuna. They said the same thing, and we were the first ones to say, hey, let's slow down traffic. Let's get it out of the neighborhoods. Let's put a different area. Again, we're going to be the first ones to actually see a problem and actually fix it before the residents get mad. So for the residents, I highly recommend you guys looking at Bentonville, Cuyuna, the areas that didn't want mountain biking, and now they love it up there, because we're the first ones to actually do something about the issues that you guys are talking about.
Hi, everybody. Wade Thompson, 710 Southeast 10th Street, Ankeny. I also work with you guys. I own a place called Captain Roy's. It's a great cycling destination, and I think it's done nothing but bring great people to the neighborhood and commerce, and pretty proud of what we did down there, and I believe that we can do something like that here. I'm in favor of it.
Good evening. My name is John Bradley. I live at 3430 Southwest 43rd Street in Des Moines. Thank you for your time this evening. One point that I haven't heard, I would kind of compare this to the skate park. A lot of people thought, look at all the riffraff the skate park is gonna bring to downtown Des Moines. It never came. They're good people that are down there at the skate park. It's brought a lot of revenue into downtown. And I feel like these trails could do the same thing for the east side. So just a little bit of a different perspective, but I support it, and I thank you for your time.
Okay. Seeing no more speakers. Any questions? Anybody?
I'd be happy to make a comment. Being the ward councilman where Easter Lake is in Ewing Park, where we have a mountain bike trail that I've been asked multiple times to try to expand, and we haven't had any revenue in the city of Des Moines to do that. So I welcome and the neighbors should welcome Polk County Conservation. Look all around Polk County and see the things that they've done. And they do it in a way that we're all proud of. And Rich, you've got a great board. The Board of Supervisors also are part of giving you, revenue. You're not going to put something in there that you're not going to be proud of and the residents aren't going to be proud of. And I appreciate that. We had a lot of questions about the trail that you put in around Easter Lake, and the neighbors, all of the same issues came up at Easter Lake, and all of those same neighbors that I represent will tell you the same thing. We haven't had the problems that they thought. The parking problems, the riffraff, it actually cleaned it up. And it will. I've been down there. We toured the 4 Mile area, and we went to that parking lot. And there's needles, there's garbage. That will be gone. I'm very confident of that. And, one of the speakers said, how would you feel if somebody bought something next to you? Well, I'd be proud to have Polk County buy something, because I know that their pockets are deep and they're going to do it the right way. And so I'm happy to support this. I think it's a great project. I think it's an amenity that our city needs. And you know what? Thank you for bringing this. And I know you're going to do your due diligence with all the other questions. This is just the first step, and you want to make sure that this step goes through before you do all the due diligence and all the questions that were asked beforehand. Those are all going to be done. And I look at Rich, and he had already said, yes, we're going to do all of those things. So I'm happy to support it. I know Linda's the ward council person, so.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Being an East Sider too, I think it'll be a great amenity. I really think that we have to remember this first step is just to get it to the parkland so they can do all the studies and get more input on what's going to happen. So I think the first step is to make it a parkland because it has not been developed. I would rather have a park, I think, next to me when you talk about noise and confusion than if you would build a housing development. But I think it's a great amenity along with that whole 4 Mile stretch. When you go all the way down from Hubble and the park atmosphere that's going to be created, I think that, again, we're here to say we think it should be a park, and then they can do the work. Polk County will do the work. And as Joe has brought up, they take put a lot of time and effort, and they don't do it halfway. And I think that this is an amenity that I think is great for the young people and will be something that will be ongoing to help many of the young people get involved in, again, positive things and build it up into something even bigger throughout that whole stretch.
Carl?
Sure. One thing I didn't quite get. Josh, can you show us your T-shirt? Can you come back up here? Is it Josh? Right? Well, come on up here. Come on. We're not going to bite.
We have stickers too.
Wolfpack.
All right.
Des Moines on there. It doesn't say Ankeny. It doesn't say Johnston. So we're proud of that here. So.
Josh, turn around so everyone the other way can
So is
see your
that
T-shirt.
the youth group?
Thank you, sir.
7, is that right? 7. Thanks, man.
Josh?
I mean, I just wanted to echo what the others have said. I am fortunate enough to have some mountain bike trails in my ward as well, in Greenwood Park. And I'll note, it's not just mountain bikers who use it, right? It's one of those things, my family is not a family of mountain bikers, but we'll walk those paths. And it is a great amenity. We know people who live by that. Just like we heard, young folks here want to live where they can be close to amenities like this. We are fortunate that we've added these amenities in parts of our community. This is, I think, the type of amenity that will be a great addition to the east side. And also wanted to take 1 second and address, and I mean, I agree with everything that's been said about Polk County Conservation being a partner, but I also wanted to address some of the environmental and floodplain pieces that go along with that. And Polk County Conservation is a partner on water quality, a partner on habitat protection. If you're concerned about enhancing water quality, addressing the floodplain in a comprehensive manner, and creating an ecosystem that is going to be healthy and support diverse wildlife, working with Polk County Conservation to accomplish that is absolutely the way to go. So I think it's appropriate to rezone this to a parkland, and I look forward to what this can become. I think this is the beginning of a process, and I'd encourage the neighbors to stay involved and be a part of the process going forward, because I think that's the best way to get the full benefit of this for the neighborhood as well, because I think it will enhance the neighborhood. And if we have an opportunity to come back and have a conversation about this in a few years, this is the kind of thing that I think the neighbors who are here tonight, I hope most of you will be very happy about the fact that we've rezoned it and made these improvements in our community.
Everybody on council has said, and my experience with Polk County Conservation has always been very positive. I sit on the 4 Mile Water Creek Shed Authority. I've seen the oxbows, the detention basins, everything that has been done to eliminate the flooding in the 4 Mile area. And they always do quality work. They are open to visiting with the residents. I know I've asked Rich to talk to people. He has done that. So when I'm listening to the neighbors in the Edgewater, believe me, we have heard you. We have listened, but please, our experience with Polk County, you will come away with a completely different feeling once this park is complete. And as the council person, I've taken calls from residents saying the four-wheelers have been down here, they've torn up the land, we've got dumping, we've got homeless camps in there. We don't want that activity on the east side. And we welcome to have a park that will bring in people. It will bring activity. We can go there and walk and feel completely safe. We have rangers that will be patrolling the area. Please just give us a chance to get this park built, and I think you will be very pleasantly surprised. With that, I would move item 47 and 47A. I'm not going to do B. I'm going to wait and see how the vote goes and then let somebody else make that. When I spoke to some residents from Edgewater, I told them that it would take 3 readings, and at that time, B had not been added to our agenda. I pulled it off yesterday, and that wasn't there. So I'm supportive of that, but I did tell the neighbors something different than what we would be doing tonight. So
Second.
okay.
Okay, we're going to vote on A.
47 and A, yes.
Okay, 47 and 47A have been moved and seconded. I will quickly just add my quick 2 bits in support of Linda. It's been my, I will have to admit to all of you that I'm a biker as well as a walker and enjoy these parks. And I've got to tell you, having lived out on Easter Lake and seeing the improvements that have been made there through the years and how much the local residents have approved and really appreciated those improvements, it's really been helpful. And to look at all the environmental issues and knowing that, remembering a few years ago when I was on planning and zoning, we started restricting the building in those flood areas. And this, clearly, parts of it are kind of in that area. And the rest of it, the terrain is a little rough to be building any residential things in there. And so this thing, to me, to end up with the proper outcomes with water quality and looking at the vegetation issues and the tree issues and everything else that needs to happen in there, needs to be properly managed and maintained and cleaned, and not to be a dumping zone and whatever. And also, Rich told us earlier, there aren't going to be those four-wheelers or motorized motorcycles and other vehicles in there. That's not allowed. And they're going to have Polk County people in there. If there are problems, City of Des Moines people will respond, and we have gotten some assurances that Pleasant Hill will also respond if there's issues that are happening in or around that are concerns of the citizens. So I, too, am also fully supportive of this plan and hope that it works out for everybody. And I'll ask Indira for your vote.
I'd just like to say that I am confident that Polk County Conservation is going to be doing the best thing that they can for this land, and the information that we've gotten, seeing that invasive species will be taken out, seeing that maintenance of the wildlife in the area is a primary concern of Polk County Conservation, excuse me. That isn't a concern that I have. However, I'm a little frustrated in hearing the way that we are not addressing the concern of the residents that they didn't have the information about this. I personally, as a council member, don't like being put in this position where we have a whole lot of information, and there's a lot of people who have been able to come out and speak about this, who have the information, who are excited about this project, and understandably so. But the residents who live right next door feel that they don't know what's going on. And some of these concerns that have been brought up, we're saying, oh, well, Polk County Conservation is going to solve these problems, but the problems are being brought up because the neighbors have to bring them up because they don't know any details about the project. So that has been extremely frustrating to me. I don't think that it's good practice for us to be put in this position to be making a decision against the needs of the residents, against the wishes of the residents, because they haven't had any information. And we did get an email from a resident who previously was in opposition to this project but changed their mind based on the information they got. And so all I have to do is guess what the residents would say had they gotten that information. And I understand that this is just the first step, and so some of that information isn't going to come out. And to some extent, we're not going to please everyone. But I just hope that moving forward, that conversation with the residents who live next door is going to improve. And with that, I'll vote yes.
6 yes, 1 no. Motion carries.
Okay, and
Did you?
I think she voted yes.
Indira, I think you voted yes. Is that correct?
I voted yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
With that, I would.
That's
7 yes.
With that, I would move 47B.
I'll second.
Ask everybody to vote. Indira?
I would vote no for that. I think Linda had a good idea in making it 3 readings.
6 yes, 1 no.
All right. Item 48, it's on a request from Keegan Jarvis, owner, for property located at 3123 Indianola Avenue, to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow plan to revise the future land use classification from low-density residential to industrial, and to rezone the property from N3A Neighborhood District to I2 Industrial District to allow the use of the property for outdoor storage and auto recycling, junk and/or salvage yard business. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommends denial. Choose one of the options. A is to deny, or B, to continue the public hearing until November 7th of 2022 at 5 p.m. and to direct the city manager and the legal department to prepare the necessary legislation to approve. Requires 6 votes. I'll ask if there's any parties in interest either the applicant or anyone within 250 feet of the property to be rezoned. And again, we'll give you a few minutes each to speak. Are there any parties in interest?
I think this is him, right? I think. Is this your, you know them? Yep.
Yes, that's me.
You're up.
You're up.
Awesome. Is this a deal that will project the picture?
Right here.
Thank you.
Do you have something on
Yeah,
the down?
I have a couple pictures I just
Okay.
want to show.
You just got to
Yeah.
put it down on the table.
Yeah.
Just put them down.
Roger that.
Make sure.
Well, I kind of have to, there's like multiples of them, so it's kind of take me a minute to
Okay.
throw them all up there as I'm speaking, but
Put my hand in.
you're welcome to pass them around, actually.
Just put him down there. Don.
Okay.
Whatever you got to do.
I've been by the house multiple times.
Right.
Okay, so which order do you want?
However.
Okay, well, let's start with these.
Okay. You guys tell me when to start or whatnot.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, can
I
we
can't get it. There's-
angle it somewhere or another? We're getting a terrible
I
reflection.
wonder if maybe that
There you go.
kind of the
There.
holding it down is kind of
There.
there we go.
Connie, sometimes there used to be a white binder there.
There's a what?
Is there a white binder there anymore?
No, not anymore. Unless it's in here. Oh, come. Okay, hold on, I've got.
There you go.
Is that? I don't know. There.
I'll just show you guys a couple pictures real quick. Mayor, Councilman, thank you guys for a few moments of your time here. I am the person that's requesting 48 or action on 48.
I'll just wait for you.
What I'm actually asking the council to do here tonight is to deny the zoning request for it. Certainly not what I ever intended to have happen, and it's a situation that's quite frustrating to me. And I'm hoping that moving forward, you guys can help to alleviate that for other people. I'm upset that the city council has allowed the city of Des Moines Planning and Zoning Department to change the process of going before the Board of Adjustment to require application for inappropriate rezoning first. It's my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, but this is the way it was explained to me by your own staff, that there was a change made that requires now a person to apply for rezoning rather than to go before the Board of Adjustment first. I can't confirm that. I haven't researched that. I don't know that to be the case, but I'm mentioning that. I also understand the need for a city to have zoning and code enforcement requirements. I understand that you guys work very hard to make sure that Des Moines does not become Detroit or another city that's fallen to disrepair and derelict. And I commend this board and any city staff who has put effort into doing that. Great things to say about that in many respects, but I do feel that there's an issue here that's missed its mark. It just happens to be brought to light in this situation. The earlier this year, the state legislature passed Iowa Code 414.33 to negate a city's ability to hurt businesses that are coming up. They had said that any business, a low-impact business that does not do things that obstruct traffic flow or things that are held behind a fence are protected at the state level now. The stuff that is at my house is not my business stuff primarily. I don't run my business out of my home. My business is ran out of a small warehouse in Polk County Unincorporated. It's off of Northeast 22nd Street. I believe the actual address is 5741. What I have stored at my house is things that came from my two late grandfathers. They knew that I like to tinker with things. They knew that I like to breathe new life into things. They knew that if they had somebody that they wanted to pick their effects to go to, they'd go to me. I took a lot of that stuff home, and I'm not going to lie, every now and again something comes into me
in my business. I do run a scrap metal sorting and logistics operation, whereby I sort things. You're not talking about huge cars or semi-loads of metal coming in. We're talking about boxes of metal that come in with things in them, and I put widget A with widget A and widget B with widget B. So some of those things came home to, hey, I could put this on this project, or I could do this, or whatever. I am cleaning up my property. I have put a new roof and new siding on the property. Actually, within about a month and a half ago, I did those things. I'm putting the effort into making my place nice. My neighbors are really putting effort into making their places nice. There was letters that were submitted by my neighbors, some of them quite spirited, as to how frustrated they were that the city said that I was running a junkyard out of my home. That's clearly not the case. I mean, there may be things back there that, somebody would say, well, that's consistent with a junkyard. I promise you there's never been a crane back there. I promise you there's never been semis. There's not a car crusher. We're not doing stupid stuff like that. There's simply some crap that's stored on pallets and a bunch of pallets and stupid stuff like that I need to get rid of. And when I go before the Board of Adjustment, I'll be asking them for the time to do so. I'll also be asking them to allow me to have my skid loader so I can clear the snow. I'll also be asking them to allow me to store my miniature excavator there. Also, again, I use that to clear the ice that gets stuck in my driveway. But also I use it as a toy. And I use it as something that I can play with when I'm just furious and frustrated and want a concentration exercise. And that's remarked. These things are all remarked in what I asked the city for originally. And I think that the city really missed their mark. The city staff really missed their mark in saying, we need this person to ask for industrial zoning to utilize his property behind his own fence to do what he does. I think any one of you would be appalled if somebody came in, ran roughshod over you guys, and told you guys what you can and can't do with your yard.
All right.
So I just got a quick question. The two pictures on the left, that is your residence on Indianola Road?
No, that's not.
Right.
None of these pictures are my residence.
Right.
None of them.
Yeah, I know none of them are. That's why I said that.
This here is a picture of my residence. I'm sorry. Let me bring that into focus a little better for you. This is what you see when you drive by. This is actually taken 30 minutes before I came.
Well, yeah, you see that now. But
no, that's always been that way, Joe. That's been that way for the last month and a half. That hasn't changed.
Okay.
There's never been crap in the front yard. It's never been observed. Show me a picture where it hasn't. Please.
You can.
Show me a picture.
It's fine. There's multiple pictures.
Somebody show me a picture of my front yard showing anything other than looking like this.
I'm not saying your front yard, but you can see it from the street, your backyard over the fence.
I would love to see a picture of that. I really would.
Okay.
These pictures that I brought were to point out, this were taken right before I came in here.
Yeah, no, I
all around me.
I know you've worked on getting it cleaned up, and I think there's still probably a little.
There's definitely work to be done.
I
am definitely working on that. I'm just asking for the city staff to relax and allow me to get these things done.
Well, did you ask them for additional time?
I did.
And how much did you ask them for? How much time?
I had asked them for a year, and that was maybe 3 months ago. And in that time, I would say a reduction of the stuff that's there by about 40%. I have also rented an additional space, which it took me almost a month to get that rental pushed through to do that. And I will be removing a lot of other things, but I am asking for the ability to drive my 2 trucks home. 2 trucks. They're medium duty, small trucks. I just commute them home rather than parking them and driving my car. I'm asking to have my small skid loader so I can clear my snow. And the items that were outlined, asked, just simple. That's all I'm asking for.
I'll make the motion to deny, so you can move on to the, that's what you want. I mean,
I appreciate
the
that.
Board of Adjustment can figure out what they want to do with.
Okay, let's ask if there's any other speakers. Are there any other people, parties in interest that have been notified on this that are sitting out in the audience? Seeing none. Anybody in the general public that would want to make comment on this? All right, seeing none, we got a motion.
I'll second.
I'll move 48A.
Thank you, Ken.
Linda? Indira?
Yeah.
7 yes.
All right. 7 yes on 48 and 48A.
Good luck to you.
Awesome. I thank you guys again for having heard me out.
Okay.
Have a great night, guys.
Item 49 is on a request from Hubble Realty. Steve Mosley is the officer for approximately 35 acres of property located in the vicinity of 4425 East Douglas Avenue to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow plan to revise the future land use classification from low-density residential to low-medium-density residential and to rezone the property from N2B Neighborhood District to NX2 Neighborhood Mixed District to allow for the development of townhomes. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. We'll ask now if there's any parties in interest.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. My name's Caleb Smith. I'm with Hubble Realty Company. Filling in for Steve Mosley tonight, who had prior engagements. Before you tonight is a proposal to rezone a portion of what we call the Finney property, and will eventually be known as the Woodmont development, to allow for townhome development, specifically to allow for fourplex townhomes that will front along the north side there just by Douglas. The intent right now is to have the fourplexes there, and the current zoning that's in place doesn't allow for up beyond 2 units being attached. As we start heading south through that development, we're going to transition to more bi-attached product and ultimately to detached villas that then will go against the single family that's being proposed. We have met with the neighborhood, met with them about 5-6 weeks ago to talk about the project, had about 13 or 14 people show up, had real good conversation, talking specifically about whether this product is for sale, and yes, it is for sale. It's not going to be a rental community. And the price point obviously is always a concern about impacting property values and things like that. One of the things that we were sharing with folks that I'd like to share with you now is the price point we're talking about in here. We're talking about having townhomes starting in around $265 that go up to $400 and could go over depending on the finish of those villa units. And looking at the housing around the neighborhood, around this neighborhood we're proposing, it's beautiful developments on both sides, but we feel like where this townhome's located, we will have good buffers between natural terrain that we're not going to be developing, and also just makes good sense with the proximity to Douglas. Other than that, I know at P&Z, we didn't have everybody show up to speak against it. We got moved to consent agenda and was approved, so that was, we took as a positive thing. We're certainly happy to answer any questions anybody may have here tonight.
All right. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else, any other parties in interest? Anybody got notified within 250 feet? Seeing none, do we have anybody from the general public like to make any comment? Seeing none?
Seeing none, I will move 49, 49A, and pursuant to Rule 42, waive the second and third reading.
I'll second.
Ask everybody to vote. Been moved. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, item 50 is on a request at 1348 East Euclid Avenue, LLC owner, for property located in the vicinity of 1331 East Douglas Avenue to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow plan to revise the future land use classification from low-density residential to community mixed use, and to rezone the property from N3A Neighborhood District to Limited RX2 Mixed Use District to allow the use of the property in common with the property immediately to the south, which would be converted from a motel use to a multi-household use, continued from October 3rd council meeting. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by Brad Lowe, who's the manager, requires 6 votes. We'll first ask if there's any parties in interest, either the applicant or those living within that 250 feet. Please step up.
I'm Bob Gibson with Civil Design Advantage, representing Brad tonight, and pretty straightforward. It's just those 3 landlocked lots there, and as part of the project to improve those old vacant motels, wanted to pull those into the site and use that for expanding probably that northern hotel. They don't have any hard plans on that yet. This is just the first step, and obviously site plan will be coming through at that time when they get to that point. But any questions you may have?
Anybody?
I just make a comment. Brad and Tyler did a good job in other projects around town, so I would be supportive.
I think it's just a great reuse of a property that's been shut down for a long time. And it'll be great for the corner and add more housing on a bus line, all the things we talk about.
Yep.
So I keep wondering when we're going to see it. So I'm glad to see this happening.
There are no other comments. I would move item 50, 50A, and 50B.
Second.
Item's been moved and seconded. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
Item 51 is on a request from the City of Des Moines for a certificate of appropriateness pertaining to multiple site improvements within the Woodland Cemetery at 2019 Woodland Avenue. Council Communication number 22-485. Germane comments from the general public. Anybody want to make any comments regarding the Woodland Cemetery?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'll move item 51.
I'll second.
Item 51 has been moved and seconded. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
Item 52 is on the vacation of portions of Southeast 2nd Street and Southeast 4th Street right-of-way located south of Scott Avenue and adjoining 303 Scott Avenue. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. Again, we'll open it up for any general public comments. Anybody want to speak about Southeast 2nd Street and Southeast 4th Street right-of-way?
I see none, Mr. Mayor. I'll move 52A, and pursuant to Rule 42A,
42A.
I will waive the second and third reading.
Second.
Oh, I accidentally hit no, sorry.
Indira?
Yes.
I accidentally hit no.
Joe, go
I-
ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh. Sorry.
7 yes.
Item 53. Item 53 is on the vacation of a north-south alley right-of-way located west of and adjoining 1830 Lincoln Avenue and a conveyance to Kevin R. Gish, $100. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. Again, we'll quickly open it up, see if there's any general public comments. Seeing none, we have a motion. Vacation of a north-south alley right-of-way next to 1830 Lincoln.
I'll move 53A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, I'll waive the second and third reading.
I'll second.
Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
Item 54 is on the conveyance of excess city property locally known as 1321 Vermont Street, 1407 Michigan Street, and 16 Forest Avenue by installment contract to 1321 Vermont Street LLC, $315,000. Council Communication number 22-484. We have a speaker?
Yes, sir. Hi, thank you for taking me today. I'm Charlie Hogue. I'm one of the owners and the terminal manager in Des Moines. I moved here in 2009, started a branch of Copeland Trucking. I run it now with my father and my brother, who are both in Minneapolis. I'm the boots on the ground guy here, along with 30 drivers, 30 semis, about $6 million worth of freight transportation equipment, and our big customers are Hormel and Tyson and Pella Windows and Doors. We're hauling pork and windows nationwide. So we need a new home. We've been displaced on the south side. I met with Mr. Mandelbaum. Thank you for that meeting. I appreciated that. We got to get out of Thomas Beck. That got rezoned. I moved across the street. I was in the same building as Confluence since 2009. And because I moved across the street to the old printer building, I was in 19, and the rezoning, I believe, happened in the end of 18. So I missed that grandfathered in. So now you drive down Thomas Beck, and it's like, well, why Copeland? Well, that's why. Everybody, Conway Pallet, J&J Delivery. I mean, there's trucks on left and right all the way down there, but they get to stay, but we got to go. I was salty about it, but now I love it because we're moving over to a wonderful spot. It's already zoned perfectly. It's zoned industrial. It's a nice big spot, and our neighbors are a river and power plant. So it's hard for people to really complain about the big bad trucking company that we all absolutely 100% need but don't want to live next to. So if there's any other questions, I'd just like to show you guys our humble design. We make our money trucking, not by paying for buildings. So it's okay. It's a shed covered in stone with, yeah, I don't know. It's got 3 bays that drive through, 1 bay that does not drive through, so 4 doors on one side, 5 on the other. The 5th on the one side being a parts delivery area, you know, so we can take deliveries from a company like, there we go, if I tilt it. So on the one side facing the street, it'll be the 3 bays, and then on the other side facing the river, you'll be looking at 5. So, it is a WIC building. It's going to be designed and built in Wisconsin and trucked in on flatbeds, and they'll be putting it up. I'm told it'll only take several months, not half a year to make. So my time frame is pretty stressed. I have to be out of Thomas Beck by the 1st of the year, or I get retroactively fined up to $750 per day since I went into violation, which, if you do the math, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to the city for just being on Thomas Beck. But my contacts at the zoning department just right down the street have been honestly a joy to work with. Everybody's been great. I have nothing but positive things that have come out of this as a business leader in town working with the city. So I hope for your guys' support. Thank you. Any questions? Do we do questions?
I just have, so just to clarify, if he's not done building his building and moving in, even though he's got a plan, we're going to start finding him January 1? Is that what I'm understanding, or no?
I would have to check on that.
My understanding is that let's just keep the ball rolling in the right direction,
See what the
and we're not going to look backwards.
Okay. Okay.
That's
That
worst
ma-
case
That makes.
worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So
Right. So
Yeah.
if
I think
you're
it's,
not in
you know, it's a
progress,
big stick to make sure that I'm going to run away from it.
You got it.
All
Okay.
right, do we have a
That makes a
motion?
lot more sense.
I'll move item 54.
Second.
Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
There you go. Get going.
We got it. Thank you, guys.
Item 55, on the Fourth Amendment to a concession agreement with the Birdland Marina concession with Less Than Trinity LLC, doing business as Captain Roy's, and approving exception to procurement ordinance competitive process for good cause, Council Communication number 22-483. Quickly ask if there's anybody in the public that would like to make any germane comments regarding this. All right, seeing none.
Seeing none, I would move item 55.
Second.
Item 55 has been moved and seconded. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, on to 56, on the proposition to authorize a lease purchase agreement in principal amount not to exceed $186,350 for the purpose of acquiring certain items of equipment consisting of 3 pieces of equipment, a motor grader, wheel loader snowplow, and TTT dozer. Council Communication number 22-475. Again, we'll open it up and see if there's any comments anybody has to make regarding those lease purchase pieces for the city.
Move approval, Your Honor. Item 56.
Been moved and seconded. Item 56. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, let's note that it is 6:50 and we are ending our hearings. Moves us right straight to item 57. Council request from the City Council's Personnel Subcommittee, County Bozeman and Voss, to consider the receipt and approval of City Council Personnel Committee's annual review and compensation review for the council's direct reports. Connie, or Carl, you want to make any?
I'd just like to report that I believe this is one of the most important things that we do on a council, is to review our 3 direct reports. We have our city managers, Scott Sanders, Jeff Luster, the city attorney, and Laura Baumgartner, who's our city clerk and just was named. So this year, the council retained Mark Heston from Mark Heston Associates, who helped develop the review tools and help orchestrate the reviews. And we only had 2 to review because the city clerk had resigned. So we reviewed Scott and Jeff, and they were both given very favorable reviews from this council. We met to determine what kind of compensation should be given, and that is on your agenda today at 4.5. And the overall comment I will say is that the council believes that we're very fortunate to have such hardworking, dedicated people who want to make this city even better than it is. And we appreciate what you've been doing in guiding us through some pretty difficult times. And as we look forward to looking at what more we can do to get things to make this the best city it can be. So, Carl, would you like to make any other comments? If not, I'll move item number 57.
Connie, well said.
I'll second it. Great job by the 3 of you. Yeah, we are privileged to have someone that's been in your seat and Jeff's seat for a long time. I know I go back on my Facebook and I see you up there interviewing for the job. I think it's been pretty close to 8 years now, isn't it?
Over 8 years.
Yeah, so that does pop up once a year on my Facebook post. So.
And Laura just moved over.
Yeah,
Different side
Lord
of
to
the...
switch seats. So anyway,
We're lucky.
Absolutely,
We're very lucky.
we appreciate your hard work and your dedication to our city.
Well,
By
thank you
3
all.
of you.
I know I can speak with Jeff that we both enjoy our work with the council and the staff and our community. And obviously, we work hard because we feel very dedicated to the purpose of what we're doing and the work that we get done. So it's a joint effort.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. And I really appreciate the effort everyone's putting in. So thank you.
All right, Indira?
Vote yes.
7 yes.
Item 58, items regarding property at 701 Walnut Street. A is approving the final terms of the Urban Renewal Development Agreement with the Employers Mutual Casualty EMC Company for the construction of the Urban Park Stairway Nodal Area at 701 Walnut Street, Council Communication number 22-496. B is approving the 7th Amendment and supplement to the Skywalk Agreement with Employers Mutual EMC Company, Council Communication number 22-497. Under that, 1 is the first consideration of the ordinance to adopt the new Skywalk System Plan Map pursuant to Section 102-319 of the Municipal Code, removing the Skywalk Bridge 7C and D and the Skywalk Corridor of 7Ds, and adds the stairway nodal area joining 701 Walnut Street. 2 is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by Matt Anderson, our Deputy City Manager, and will require 6 votes. Any comments, Council?
I will move item 58, 58A, 58B, 58B1, and 58B2.
Second.
All right. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
Item 59, amending the municipal code, enacting Chapter 61 relating to the vacant property registration ordinance. A is approving and adopting the administrative fees for the vacant property registration ordinance.
This is the last reading, correct? Yes. I will move 59A.
I'll second.
Is this the last or is this second?
No, this is the final.
It says final right on your agenda.
Yes, sir.
It goes right in between ordinance and consideration.
That's right. That's right.
No laughing out there.
Indira. It was 6 yes on there, but did Indira vote?
Indira?
Here.
Vote yes.
7 yes.
All right. Item 60, this is ordinance's second consideration. Item 60 is clarifying language as to the intent of ordinance number 16,166, which provides that general property taxes levied and collected each year on a portion of the property, Oak Park-Highland Park TIF District Number 4, located within the Oak Park-Highland Park urban renewal area, be paid to a special fund for payment of principal and interest on loans, monies advanced to, and indebtedness, including bonds issued or to be issued, incurred by the City of Des Moines in connection with the urban renewal project for such portion of the urban renewal area. Any thoughts, anybody, or any motions?
I will make a motion to approve item 60, and will add pursuant to Rule 42A, waive the third reading.
I'll second.
Yes.
7 yes.
Item 61 is amending Chapter 114 of the Municipal Code regarding traffic regulation changes, code correction, update parking restriction to match field conditions on Mulberry Street at 8th Street. Council Communication number 22-488. Again, the correction to match the code.
I'll move item 61. And pursuant to Rule 42A, move to waive the second and third.
Second.
All right.
Do that, right?
Yes.
61 has been moved, and pursuant to 42A, it's been moved also to waive this second and third reading. Indira?
Yes.
7 yes.
Item 62 is amending Chapter 2, 82, and 90 of the Municipal Code, eliminating the Neighborhood Revitalization Board and transitioning to the Neighborhood Outreach Advisory Committee. Council Communication number 22-487A is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waivers requested by Chris Johansson, who's our Neighborhood Services Director, and requires 6 votes. Any comment
Shit, there's some,
or motion?
Well,
there's somebody right here.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Carr. I live at 1105 14th Place in Des Moines, Iowa. I am a relatively newly appointed NRB member as of December 2021. And I did get a phone call from Mr. Johansson and Heather on October 12th telling me about this change was going to happen. When I asked for additional background information about it, the conversation was that information was presented in 2020 and some discussion was brought before council at that time. Well, being a new director and attending all of the meetings, I hadn't heard anything about the changes and its implications. In theory, it sounded like a good idea, but as an NRB member, I really didn't have a lot of information about the history and the detail. So what I would ask is additional information be shared with some of the board members who also might be new, to really be able to look at the pros and cons of making the recommendations now just coming as staff recommendations as opposed to appointment by the council. So that's what I wanted to share.
Any council thoughts or updates?
Just to clarify, then Neighborhood Outreach Advisory Committee, we're not codifying that, right? That is,
No, that's correct.
that's informal. Okay.
Right.
And we've got flexibility in how that will work going forward.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the current board members on NRB, I believe, speaking with Heather and Chris, they will be asked to serve on this outreach advisory committee, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I think it said.
But I don't think that's been made completely clear, because in part of the ordinance change, it says that there will only be 13 people on the advisory, and you've got some,
Is there more than 13 on the NRB?
well, but then it goes on and says that they want people that have actually been part of neighborhood associations, and, you know, like 2 from each ward, no more than 4 from each ward. So I guess I've been just left a little bit uneasy about this. I mean, I get what's happening, but, you know, I got a call from the NRB members too, and we as council members, I as a council member got the call the same time NRB members got the call. And, you know, it was stated that, yes, we're going to look at making changes. We made that recommendation, but then to have all of these new things put in this ordinance, it just leaves me unsure about what we're doing. I have a feeling that 6 months from now, we're going to look back and say, well, we voted on that, that's what's going to happen. So I too am a little uncomfortable with it.
Mayor, if I could, I need to make sure it's absolutely clear. There will not be ordinance language around the advisory committee. We need to take out the NRB from the ordinance.
Okay,
And so that allows for more flexibility to add members as requested by council members.
Right. I think that was the initial goal, was to look at how we could repurpose it now that we have Heather in her spot and really help the neighborhood. So I was expecting something to come back. I think it will actually give us more flexibility and, you know, be able to make the membership how we need it and actually give them, I think, more responsibility and some actionable items that they can help with.
Does Heather want to speak on it? I mean, can you explain to me about the board members? I mean, you're saying that people that are on NRB can serve, but how will that work if there are?
Well, I don't think I have anybody that I have.
And I know that
I can't get people to serve
I know
on
that
this
we have
board.
some NRB members that do not take part in the neighborhood association.
So thank you, Mayor, members of council, Heather Tamiga, Neighborhood Outreach Coordinator. So I'll try to just keep asking me the questions as I try to cover them. So first, all current NRB members are invited to continue their service within this board. Right now, we have 9 active NRB members. We do have several where we have vacancies and non-appointments. I haven't asked them yet. We're waiting to see how we came out with the process, but then finalizing this process, we will reach back out to the NRB and invite them to participate.
I'll move 62 and 62A.
Second.
Indira?
Yes. 7 yes.
All right, that moves us to item 63, which is, these are requests from our citizenry to speak. For those persons wishing to speak this evening under our public speaking items, we will only be calling on those who have registered to speak, and so all speakers must comply with the rules regarding their names and addresses. Each of the 11 speakers this evening will receive up to 2 minutes to make their comments. Please keep your own time because at the end of the 2 minutes, the clerk will announce time and the speaker's mic will be closed and we're going to go immediately to the next speaker. We do want to hear from all of our residents. We encourage the residents to be respectful of others' viewpoints that occasionally are different from your own. While you may certainly disagree with that viewpoint, I want to remind everyone that Council's rules provide that any comments that are slanderous will result in that speaker being barred from the further comment. And as a presiding officer, I'll determine whether the comments are slanderous or not. Fair warning, arguing with the presiding officer about the determination on this matter is not acceptable and permitted, and doing so will be considered disruptive and result in that speaker being barred. I want to remind everybody and all the members of the public that this is a council business meeting, and the council will conduct its meetings efficiently. So here we are with our public speaking items. Our first speaker this evening is Jen Bast. Jen Bast. Is Jen in the room? All right. Adam Callanan. Adam?
Hello, my name is Adam Callanan. I use he, him pronouns, and I live in Ward 3. First, I would like to talk about the accessibility of these meetings. We really need a virtual or hybrid option for participation. This is mainly or especially true because of COVID, but also this building is not very accessible. On days like today, I'm not sure why, but the accessible entrance to this building's doors were locked, and there were many stairs it took to get upstairs at all. I'm not sure why that's the case, but especially if we're going to lock the accessible doors, we really need to have hybrid or virtual options. Also, at the previous meeting, I'm not sure why, but there was a SWAT team here, the Metro Star team, which was odd, and I'm not sure why we're bringing that kind of force into meetings. Also today, there was a huge amount of people in the overflow. That combined with COVID, we really need a bigger space. There's about 40 seats in here, by my estimation, by my rough estimation. Population of Des Moines is 215,000, last I was able to check. And that's about one seat in this room for 5,000 people in Des Moines. That does not seem right. We need to have bigger spaces for meetings, and or virtual meetings to also help that, our participation with hybrid meetings. I wanted to talk about the abortion resolution that was talked about at the last meeting. The majority of council said that it was not within council's purview to handle the health care of people in, or the health rights of people in Des Moines. I wanted to point out that back on March 7th, it wasn't on the agenda even, but the mayor and most of council voted to take action between the Russia and Ukraine war. So in the purview is a war between Russia and Ukraine, but not the healthcare of citizens. I think that's very odd. And there are many things like that where it just does not make sense for the healthcare of our citizens or of our residents to not be in the purview of the city. We've also seen that discrimination goes unenforced on things like housing and other city issues. The city just chooses not to enforce a lot of policies around racism and sexism, meanwhile refusing to have low enforcement priorities on things like abortion and marijuana.
Richard Evans. Richard? Not here. Okay. Danielle Dugan.
Hi, my name is Danielle Duggan, and I live at 513 Northeast Stone Valley Drive in Ankeny. Our communities are rapidly growing together. The south side of it in Norwalk and West Des Moines is all now incorporated, and pretty soon it will be connected physically. This will be the same with Ankeny as well. And so in a sense, we're one community. And I'm here to say for mine, your city and this city council is blatantly ignoring your own city's very serious issues, and it's having a negative impact on all of us. Make no mistake, it's not for a lack of understanding or city funding that these issues are being ignored, but rather this council's choice. Your actions or lack of are classic examples of a complete and utter breakdown of city government system. The days of unaudited, no-bid, multi-million-dollar city contracts for projects the family and friends of this council and/or ineffective community crime prevention programs and/or the lack of safe, stable, affordable housing has got to stop. For years, you have ignored not only the NAACP, ACU, LU, Just Voices, and other Des Moines nonprofits, as well as your own constituents concerning the DMPD. Yet, this council's answer to these very patient people with their very valid and very real concerns is a public works report. Please stop it. I pray that they are not naive enough to believe anything in it. The report was not only over budget and appears to be yet another no bid, no real RFP anywhere, contract to more than likely just another family member or a friend of Chuck Culver's maybe, or someone else directly connected to this council and or city manager Scott Sanders. This Pennsylvania-based company is listed as a paving contractor on Google, who actually in 2013 had lost their Iowa Certificate of Authority to do business in Iowa, which was revoked by the Iowa Secretary of State for not filing basic biennial reports.
All right, our next speaker, Harvey Harrison.
Not here.
Next speaker, Laurel Clinton.
You guys can pass that around if you like. Laurel Clinton, Des Moines, CCI Racial Justice Team. In Des Moines, in December 2018, the Marijuana Cannabidiol Act went into effect, opening 5 dispensaries with approximately 10,000 users. 70% of the country agrees that marijuana should be legalized. Data shows that Black and brown men are 7 times more likely to be arrested for small quantities of marijuana. All the while, 5 dispensaries are making money hand over fist, essentially with the same product. Remember, 10,000 Iowans could possibly smell like marijuana. On October 13th, I witnessed a car being stopped for the suspicious smell of marijuana. The driver, a white male Uber driver, the passenger seated in the back was a Black male, was cooperative, was immediately placed in handcuffs and a patrol car. The uncooperative driver refused to get out of the car. He was ordered by 2 officers, and it wasn't until their sergeant, the 3rd officer, arrived. The driver had a gun and was never placed into handcuffs. Finally exited the vehicle to find that there was an unmeasurable amount of marijuana on the passenger. A clear display of how a Black man smelling like marijuana is a bigger threat than a white man carrying a permitless, illegally concealed gun. You understand? It's bad. 2 officers were murdered by a white male. And it's this kind of implicit bias that not only endangers our officers, but puts the public at risk too. It's time that you take the 7 recommendations for the Marijuana Task Force and end the disparities of racial profiling and what it causes harm to our communities. In Des Moines and Iowa, the disparities are off the charts in our prisons, and we know that. So please take care of that. Thank you.
Next speaker is Alex Strulins.
Alex spoke during hearing on Copper Creek.
Okay, but
So he thought I was signing up to speak on that, and so.
okay, so he's not going to speak at this part, right?
He's gone.
All right, Heather Armstrong.
Heather and Garland, you know, they rely on public transportation, and the last time they could get picked up is at like 7:15. So I would ask if it's possible when they sign up again that we put them at the top of the list, since we know they have to go. They rely on public transportation.
All right, and Garland Armstrong also is obviously gone then too. Kyle Landsberger. Kyle? All right. Carrie Gosnell.
Hi, my name is Carrie Gosnell. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Ward 3 and member of Iowa CCI Racial Justice Team and DSM Surge. In November of 2020, the Marijuana Task Force presented 7 recommendations for lessening the racial disparate outcomes of marijuana enforcement in our city. City Manager Scott Sanders said that he would further engage in the police, see how we could implement these recommendations, and since then we have seen no action. In April of this year, Public Works LLC presented to you 23 recommendations to change the way city, including the police, collect and use data to inform their decision making. City Manager, again, you said that you would have to meet with the police to determine a strategic plan for how we would implement these recommendations. The council asked and you agreed that you would provide an update in the next quarterly work session, but that work session has come and gone and it was not discussed. We did hire 21st Century Policing to study the culture of the police department, but again, we will wait 7 months to hear those recommendations. What good are recommendations if they are not followed through with action? And each conversation seems to end with the city manager needing to have a conversation with the police chief. So what is going on? Do you not talk to him? Are you overwhelmed by information, unable to decide what to do? Do you lack the ability to influence him? Or are you creating another reason for us to have to sit and wait? We need updates. What conversations are being had? What is being done? What is the timeline? I'm specifically asking you, Scott Sanders, because we are always waiting on you. We need action, and you have plenty of recommendations and information. Pick one thing, start tomorrow, get something done. You owe it to the residents who pay your salary. And council, demand this from him every chance you get. It's a waste of taxpayer money to pay for expensive studies and yet fail to act. We are holding you all accountable.
Mayor, I'll move 63 A through K. Receive and file. Any comments?
We get a second?
I'll second.
Indira?
What?
We're just voting to receive and file the speaker's comments.
Oh, God, I didn't hear it. It wasn't on mic. Yeah, I say aye. Yes.
All right.
7 yes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. We have a motion to adjourn. It's seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We sit adjourned. Thank you all for attending. Until next time.